Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so thank you everybody for being here. Like Erica said, I'm from Colombia, but I live in Vancouver, Canada, and I teach Spanish. I've been in the classroom for more than 20 years and in Canada for 15. And I teach Spanish here from grade nines. In Canada, grade nine is their first year that they take a Spanish. They do not take a Spanish before. Remember, Canada, the other official language is French, so they will be taking French in elementary, and then the Spanish the first time in grade nine, and then grade 10, and then when they get to grade 11, they choose the regular Spanish 11 and 12 or IB Spanish and 12. And I've taught both, but it's been the last 10 years I've been teaching IB Spanish, which is the diploma. IB is advanced level. I have not taught AP, but it's very similar when I talk to other teachers. It's very similar. The level, the requirements, the exams are very similar. So if you teach AP, these things that I'm going to share with you will apply anyways. And also if you teach any advanced, like 4+ levels, heritage speakers, it falls under the same realm, to say so. So it will help you. So I'm going to show you a little bit of different things. I'm going to show you a little bit about the IB curriculum and how you can cover it. I'm going to show you a teacher's guide of one of my books and how those books are available with voices as well. So how you can, through reading a book, you can cover a lot of topics and how to assess and evaluate. And I'm going to show you some samples of my students, advanced students. But I also want to open it for discussions, because I know if you're here, you're using Voces Digital curriculum. I was exploring the curriculum and I loved the layout and the stories and all the things that they have. They've done an amazing job. So I'm not going to teach you how to use the platform, because if you're here, I'm assuming you use it and you have explored it, but I'm going to give you tools and things that you can do to enhance things, because sometimes you want to do something a little bit different, or just go deeper on this topic, or just amplify this experience. So that is my objective today. Now, please, 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 I'm here for you. So ask me questions. I don't know if the chat works with, yes, the chat works with breakout rooms. Okay, so you can write them on the chat. You can just unmute yourself and yell, or you can talk to Erica and say, Erica, I want to interrupt. I don't know. This has to be very informal. We're just having coffee. It's 10 a.m. for me. And Erica is also having coffee. 10 a.m. for me. I am Pacific time. I go to bed really late during the summer, so I sleep in. So I woke up like 40 minutes ago, showered, and this is my coffee. I know I'm like a teenager, sleeping in until 9, 9:30, and 10. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing. Oh, and I didn't say, so I'm the author of a lot of novels. I don't know if you know that. I usually say that. But and a lot of those novels are, you can find them with Voices Unplugged. And I also host a podcast in Spanish. If you speak Spanish, you should go and listen to my podcast along with my dear friend Margarita Perez Garcia. I'm going to put the website here, armandobochinche.com. It's a, and I'm going to talk about the podcast later, because you will be able to download some things for free from there. Okay, so going in depth for advanced classes, I want to focus on reading, because reading is a very important element for language acquisition. We should start reading since like the first year, but with advanced classes, if you teach IB or AP, you know the exams are really hard. You know the exams are at this high level, both the speaking, the message that is expected from them. The reading is really hard. It's a really high level. In my case, I only have grade 9 and 10, which is regular stream. Everyone is there. And then some kids choose IB. So then I have IB 11 and 12. So I only have 4 years to prepare them for the exams. The IB French teacher has the same level of exams, but the French kids have been taking French since elementary. So it's not fair. But still, my kids do way better, only for 4 years. They do way better for two reasons. They do way better because all their learning has been through CI, and because we do lots of reading. We do lots of reading. We read and read and read. So besides the teaching that I gave them, besides me talking about these topics, they do a lot of reading. My goal when they enter the course, the minimum expectations is that I tell them that they need to read 20 books throughout the course. And this is from Free Voluntary Reading Library. I have a reading log. They write their names. I have their names. They write the title of the book that they're checking out by their name. I do not do anything with that, just to kind of know who is reading what. But by the end of the course, my minimum expectation is that they read 20 books. Of course, if you can read more, go for it. A lot of them read more. Some of them won't get to the 20 books. Maybe they get to 15, still really good. And they check the books out every week and they bring it back. Some people read a book per week. Some people read a couple of books per week. It depends. IB Life, like AP Life, it's really complicated. They study a lot. So sometimes they do not have time to read one book per week, but they do get there. Okay, so reading, as you know, is a powerful way to acquire language. Reading is also a way to open doors to other cultures. Through reading, we build interculturality and understanding of others and ourselves. So you know that a lot of the components of the exams have a cultural element. So students have to be able to compare and contrast, talk from the lenses of the target culture that they've been learning from. So they do need to really know this culture from the inside out. And I try to do it in class. Like we do that in class, but I want the reading to give them so many more options. It's not only me. The books are other teachers in my class. When teaching advanced courses like IB and AP, novels are a powerful tool to provide students with meaningful language in context, at the same time that we are covering a lot of the curriculum requirements. And there are some advanced language structures. Like we do a lot of subjunctive, but I do subjunctive when I do the stories, when I tell them the stories and I do my storytelling and everything. I do my subjunctive like in present tense subjunctive, but what about the past tense? What about all of those complex grammar structures that will be in the exam? Those complex grammar structures are required from them, not in the sense that they have to master them to write or speak, but when they encounter them in the reading portion, they do need to understand what is happening there. So I don't want them to get stuck in a sentence that has, si yo hubiera visto, si él hubiera ido a. I am not going to go into those structures when I'm doing the storytelling. I'm going to keep it to the simple, espero que, ojalá que, me gustaría que. Like those subjunctive is the ones that I'm expecting them to use when they are talking. But in the reading, my loves, anything that you find, you have to figure it out. You have to survive that. So the only way for me to be able to do that is if they read a lot, because in the books, when you start reading books level 3 up, you will encounter those structures in context. So they're used to seeing that and not getting stuck and getting paralyzed. They keep reading and they know, okay, this is the general meaning. I don't need you to translate word by word. This is the general meaning. I know what it's saying, and then move on. So how to cover the IB curriculum, and it applies really close to AP. requirements with a novel study. So novels are the entrance door for me to cover a lot of topics, and then from there I go on and do a lot of things. With one novel, you can cover a lot of the topics that are part of the IB and AP curriculum. Imagine if you do 2 or 3 or 4. So this is a little summary of the IB themes. So we have 5 big themes in the curriculum. It's very broad because a lot of hundreds of teachers around the world are teaching this. We don't have to use the same textbook. Every country, every school district, every teacher is free to use whatever they want. So IB will never be expecting you to teach this topic. You have to talk about this. No, these are very broad. So identities, you have identities, lifestyles, health and well-being, beliefs and values, subcultures, language and identity. So as you can see, very broad. Experiences, leisure activities, holidays and travel, life stories, rites of passage, customs and traditions, migration, human ingenuity, entertainment, technology, artistic expressions, communication and media, scientific innovation, social organization. We have social relationships, community, social engagement, education, the working world, law and order, and sharing the planet, the environment, human rights, peace and conflict, equality, globalization, ethics, urban and rural environment. So as you can see, very broad topics. And then how are we going to cover them? So when I train teachers, they always say but how do you cover all of that? So easy. I want to show you. It's so easy. So you do not worry about this. You worry about reading different books, and then you go back and you can check. And I already talked about this. Oh, we did this. So I want to give examples with my books. If you read Un Nuevo Amanecer, these are all the topics that you are covering. Identities, you have lifestyles, beliefs and values, and subcultures. Based on the storyline of the book and where it happens and where it takes place, it's about La Leyenda del Dorado in Colombia. So you will learn a lot about lifestyles from the specific group of people where the story is taking place, beliefs and values, how they're thinking, the way of thinking about nature and related with nature, and subcultures because it's a specific of Colombia. Experiences, rites of passages, customs and traditions, the same. Social organizations, social relationships, community, and sharing the planet because it touches a lot about the environment and taking care of the planet. And remember, all of these books have a teacher's guide. And in the teacher's guide, when I created a teacher's guide, I created it with the IB teacher in mind. So I am going in depth with these topics. If you read El Camino del Café, which is one of my favorite ones, and I actually read this one with my classes. I wish I could read them all. I know I'm biased. I wrote them all, but I honestly love them. So I wanted to read all of them, but I can't. So I have to choose. So El Camino del Café, I do it with my IB students. I make a connection with fair trade, and we learn about fair trade coffee and fair trade things. How can we support fair trade and workers' rights and decent minimum wage for living and all of that. So after you read this book, you go back to the IB curriculum, identities, you are checking lifestyle, subcultures, beliefs and values. Why? Because it's the coffee culture of Colombia. There is the lives, it's around coffee. So that's why lifestyles, subcultures, la subcultura del café in Colombia, beliefs and values, the value of the community, of helping each other. There is something in this story about Federación Nacional de Cafeteros de Colombia, which is a huge co-op, I would say, I think it's the right name in English, that supports all the farmers, and it's like a big family. Experiences, holidays and travels, customs and traditions. It would be travel because there is a lot of tourism around coffee in Colombia. People go to see the coffee farms and to collect coffee and make coffee. Customs and traditions, again, everything related around coffee. Social organizations, the relationships, the community, social engagement, the working world, and sharing the planets, again. So as you can see, you read one book, you go back, you cover, you can check, boom, 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 check, 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 check. Now, the students are ready. They're ready for the assessment. They're ready to talk about it. When we're doing the IB oral exam, I have different pictures of all the topics that I teach. Of course, the students do not know which pictures I'm going to show them. I don't know which pictures I'm going to show them. I have a box with a lot of pictures laminated of all the topics. And then I just pull my hand in, take out a couple pictures, show them the pictures. They choose, you have to show them two pictures. They choose their favorite one. They look at them, choose one, and they have 15 minutes to prepare for the picture for the exam. And then the oral exam takes 15 minutes that I record and then we send to IB. So so some of them might get pictures about coffee. And what is the picture like? The picture is someone collecting coffee. Alguien recolectando café is someone like that. So that's the picture. Now, you need to talk about it. You need to talk about, you need to make a connection with the culture. You need to describe the picture, make a connection with the culture, make a connection with the topic that the picture is showing, and then answer my questions. So they can talk about coffee culture in Colombia, and then interculturality, like I said at the beginning, when I am doing, and this is part of my teacher's guides. If you're going to use any of my books, please buy the teacher's guide. You can also find it at Teacher's Discovery because it's already laid out for you. Make the intercultural connection from coffee. For example, a question that I might ask them if they get a picture related to coffee. ¿Qué conexión puedes hacer con la subcultura del café y tu cultura? What kind of connections can you make with subculture of coffee in Colombia and your culture? We already talked about this in class. We already went in depth about this in class. So for example, if my students are from China, they will start talking a little bit about tea because it's their beverage. If my students are from India, they will talk about cha, which is their beverage. So we have nice conversations, compare and contrast interculturality, but we already went over this within the novel study experience in class. So they're super ready for the exam. Now, when is the written exam? In IB, the written exam has 3 options, and they get to choose the option that it's easier for them, and it has to go with the right format. And so we also have to teach them different writing formats. For the options, if they say because the options are very broad, because they don't know what we have been teaching. So for example, they might say, you had the opportunity to spend 3 months in a Spanish-speaking country, and you want to share with your followers your experiences. So if it says followers, I'm expecting that they choose either blog, depending on the options that they give them, blog or article. Please do not choose a diary entrance. Diary entrance is private, it's not followers. But those are the kind of things that you teach them when you're teaching them the writing format. But I want to say it again. You had the opportunity to spend 3 months in a Spanish-speaking country, and you want to share your experience with your followers. So they learned about coffee. Boom! Oh, I know what to say. Another kid in another country in the world learned about another culture from a book or whatever. Boom! They know what to say. So my kids are ready for these exams. Now we have Es Posible Soñar. I love this book as well. So making a connection with graffiti, responsible tourism, and voceo. I also like to expose them to different dialects within the Spanish world, not only the tú. I want them to be familiar with the vos, which is also actually very popular in Latin America. So when you read this book, Identities, you're covering subcultures, language and identities, experiences, leisure activities, holidays and travels, life stories, holidays and travel, because this book is based on a story. It's fiction, but it's based on a story in a real neighborhood in my city, Comuna 13 in Medellin. So people go to Medellin just to visit Comuna 13 and see the graffitis. So holidays and travel, it's part of this. Like you can check this after you read the book and after you follow the teacher guide, all these things are checked. Human ingenuity, entertainment, artistic expressions, graffiti as a way to express your political discontent and discomfort and protest, social organizations, the community, education, law and order, sharing the planet. So all of those, you read the book, you follow the teacher's guide, boom, you're good. La marimba de mi abuelo. I wrote this book when my grandpa died in 2019. My grandpa died, and I needed to do something to honor him and remember him. And I am the oldest grandchild in the family. So it was pretty neat because living in Canada, I would phone my uncles and aunts and interview them. And then with all the information that they gave me and researching about Colombian history and then fiction, I wrote this book. So you read this book and then you cover all these topics. Then you have Rigo and El Cóndor de los Andes. You can read either of them. Like I read El Cóndor de los Andes just because it came out first and I bought a class set and then I read it. But after I read El Cóndor de los Andes, I have them reading Rigo because one supports the other one. Reading one scaffolds the reading of the other one. So either one that you choose are based on famous cyclists from Colombia. So again, all of these things you're covering when you're reading the book. Lifestyles, health and well-being, subcultures, leisure activities, which is cycling, holiday and travel. People go, there's a big tourism in Colombia around cicloturismo. So people go and cycle and go to little towns. But also when you go to the big cycling races in Europe, it's connecting to this. People go and see their favorite cyclists. Life stories is part of the curriculum. You need to teach them about important people. Life stories, they should be able to talk about these people from Spanish-speaking countries, customs and traditions, social relationships, the community and the working world, and the same with El Cóndor de los Andes. So these are some examples based on my books. I just showed some of the books. I have published 20 books, and here I just showed you 6. So just a little I don't know, preview of the things that you can do. If you have questions, yes, Erika, go
There's
ahead.
one question that came up in the chat, and they were wondering how long your classes usually last for to kind of help them picture how to put everything together.
Okay, so thank you, Erika. Really good question. Now, please keep in mind that if you're teaching IB, it doesn't matter how long the classes are. We all teach the same amount of hours at the end of the course because it's the requirement, the diploma, the students have to be exposed to the language this. So my school is my whole district is a semester system. So we're not year long, we're semester. Sorry, I see them every day for 4 months. So from September to January, having the break in December. And then in January, we finish the semester and we start a new semester. So I see them every day for 80 minutes. My friend that teaches IB in another district, also here in the Greater Vancouver area, but another little city, another district, she also teaches IB, but she sees them every other day. But at the end, the kids are at the same level, so it doesn't matter. So my IB course happens in 1 year. So I see them every day from September to January, and we start the second semester from February, but the exams are in May. So we do not get to finish the whole semester, actually. She teaches grade 11 1 year, seeing them every other day. So 1 week she sees them 3 times, the other week 2 times. And then grade 12 again. So my students in grade 12, they do not have more language, but they already finished the exam. So that's the way it is. So when I'm doing a novel, I can take up to a month if I follow every little thing in the teacher's guide, including assessment. I can take up to a month doing the novel, but I don't have to. Like sometimes I don't have that much time because I don't want to take that much time. So I cut it in 3 weeks or sometimes 2 weeks. It's up to me. If you are teaching, but I see them every day. If you're teaching linear, maybe also a month and a bit, but you decide what to do. Maybe you can do some things at home. I do not send any homework because I see them every day. So it's very intense. So we do a lot of the things in class. If we're doing a smash doodle or any other prep activity, we do them in class. But if you see them every other day, you might decide, oh, you can do this at home and this is homework. So it changes a little bit. Okay, so I am going to share something from another presentation that I gave to some teachers in New Zealand a couple months ago. So here, Erica, I will tell you, not yet, but I will tell you, like, stop. Okay, so with my IB classes, like I said before, I want to read every single book as a classroom novel, but I don't have time. So I do lit circles as well. So here is the explanation. How do I do it? I divide the groups. I do this with my year 3 and 4. I do not do this with my beginners. We're talking here about old people, grade 11 and 12, or people that have like years, at least 2 years of Spanish. So I divide the class, or they divide themselves in groups of 4 and 5. It could be groups of 3, whatever, depending on of the number of students you have. Each group has a different book, and the idea is that the books are tied with a topic, because that's the purpose. I don't have time to read all of them, but I want them to know about it. So I'm going to divide it in groups. They work together to read the book, understand it, and help each other. And I give them time in class. Again, if you don't see them that often, you might say you have to read independently, you have to read at home, but I will give them time to read in class. They must find, as a group, they must find a way to present the book to the class. Yet they decide, you want to do a skit, you want to do a reader's theater, you want to do a film, you want to do a presentation. The thing is that the rest of the class didn't read the book, and I want the rest of the class to learn about this story. Is your job to show them. The beauty of this is after they share the story, after they share what they read with the class, that will trigger a lot of people, trigger in a good way, like that will trigger a reaction for them to go and check out the book when it's time for them to read from the free voluntary reading library, because they were like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I love this story. So next time they're going to check it out, because all the books are available to them anyways in my classroom library. And they know there is an individual evaluation to keep everyone accountable. So if you were one of those that didn't participate a lot doing the PowerPoint, or my honeys, my loves, you will still be accountable, because you have to write something about it. So you better read the book. So, for example, this collection is called Revolucionarias. You can find all the books at Voces Blog or Teachers Discovery. So there are 4 books about it. Perfect for IB or AP. Perfect. So it's about women. It's about revolutionary women from the Spanish-speaking world. So I have a unit, and I'm going to go in depth a little bit later, showing you the teacher's guides. I have a unit for gender stereotypes and feminism. So I read María Cano, La Flor del Trabajo with that unit, and then we go in depth about those gender stereotypes. And it's so cool. Talking about it, what are the expectations that society puts on us if you are born a female or a male. It's so cool. I want to show you in depth a little bit later. But I want to read these other books because they're all so good. And I want them to learn about these women, because these women are so inspirational. But I do not have time. I have time to do one full novel study, but not one for each women, for each book. So what do I do? So these are all at the same level, give and take, level 3 plus. So I wrote the books here, and I wrote them here. I included La Marimba, but it was too hard for them at this point, so no one chose La Marimba. So I wrote the other three. I wrote these questions, as you can see, nothing fancy, nothing elegant, not printouts or anything. So, ¿quién es? Who is the person that you're reading about? What is the social justice theme that goes through the novel? Because these novels have like a these women were revolutionary for a reason at their time. So something, what is that social justice theme? What can we learn about this woman? What can we learn from the story? Why was she a revolutionary woman? Why is this story important? And we happen to read them during Black History Month, and out of the four books, two are based on Afro Latinas, into Afro Latinas. So how can you connect this to Black History Month? So I had the books there. They opened the books, they explored the books, they read a couple pages, and they chose which book they wanted to read. Here they chose and they wrote their names. As you can see, they wrote their names. So the groups were formed organically based on the book that they wanted to read. Out of these three books, Juana, Guaitipan, Teresita, Juana is a little bit easier than Teresita, which is fine. Like you, so the ones that chose Juana, they looked at it and said, "Oh, this is easier," which is fine. Like that's for me. And some other ones said, "No, I want to go for Teresita." Perfect. I gave them a whole week to read, to prepare, to present. And then no, to read and to prepare, and then at the end of the week we presented, and then we had the exam. It was pretty cool because we all learned from everyone. Do we have questions before I show you the videos?
There's one question, and they asked if you use lit circles in all level or only upper levels, and if they present in the target language or in English.
Thank you. So I only use lit circles with the upper levels, level 3 plus. I don't do it with the younger ones. I do other things with the younger ones. But you could, it might be different. It's just that I find that younger ones, the level 1 and 2, need more support. And I want to give them that support. So we do lots of reading. We read 2 or 3 novels throughout the course with them. But at this point, they are more independent. They have done a lot of independent reading. So I use the lit circles with the upper levels. The other thing is that I teach a lot of them, I teach them in grade 9, 10, 11, 12. So I want to bring different ingredients every year. So, oh, this teacher always does lit circles, boring. So I want like, this is my new ingredient in grade 11. Wow, you're so creative as a teacher. So I just want to bring something different so it's not the same. So upper levels. And the other question, no, always target language. Always. So I am always in the target language with my younger students, level 1 and 2. I allow translanguaging. Translanguaging is practice that is working towards equity in the language class. And it means that you want your students to feel part of the class, to feel seen, to participate, but they might not be ready to participate in the target language. So my job and my responsibility as a teacher is to stay in the target language as much as I can. My students can answer in English, Spanglish, or Spanish. And I'm happy with that. And I will celebrate. That's fine. So you will see that the English will naturally disappear or get less in the year 2. That's fine. But if you're still answering in English, if I know you and I know you can say it in Spanish, I will say mi amor. Let's try to say that in Spanish. But some of them I know they're not there yet. But guess what? They're understanding what I'm saying. So Spanish is cooking in their heads. I will leave it there. When we get to IB, level 3 and 4, when I am talking to them in class, okay, people, so we are talking about these deep topics. We're talking about gender stereotypes. We're talking about racism. We're talking about the environment. So I'm staying in a target language, But sometimes they want to share about a very personal experience or a story, and they do not have the whole language still to say it. So if they do Spanglish, I'm happy. I'm happy. Like, we are part of this community. We're sharing. You are understanding everything that is going on. You are understanding a topic. You want to be part of the conversation. Go for it. So translanguaging is an equitable practice. So keep that in mind. But now, when you're presenting, that's a presentational communication assessment. You had time to prepare. You had time to do the PowerPoint. You had time to study target language. It's different. Like when I'm asking you on the spot, depending on what I'm asking you, like some things, depending on the level, and we know teachers, we know our students, depending on the level, this is what I'm asking you, you better answer in Spanish. But if we're talking about like a more higher level thinking topic, Spanglish is fine. Of course, when we get to the IB oral exam, it's higher level thinking and it has to be in Spanish. So you push them with love a little bit. But when it's presentational communication, which is what I'm going to show you now, it has to be in a target language. Okay. So,
We
Eric.
just sorry, one more question that's a great follow-up to all this. They want to know if the students are allowed to read the presentation or is it memorized and they're not allowed to read.
Well, the thing, they're not allowed to read. What I tell them also, I don't believe in memorization. I do not believe in memorization because I do want a learning from this. So if you go and memorize this page to present and you sound like a robot, boring. And then you will leave the class and forget everything. So they're not allowed to read, but it has to be like, it has to sound that you're sharing an information that you know. So a lot of these presentations are, and I'm going to show you different ones. A lot of these presentations are intercultural. So when they're sharing about them, it's not memorizing because they know. They know what is happening. If I am Chinese and I'm sharing you about my Chinese culture and what we drink and everything, I didn't have to memorize that. Maybe of course, I had to plan. Maybe I had to find this word that I didn't know, but it comes from their hearts, not from their brains. That's what I want, like coming from their hearts and not from their brains. But I want to show you. Give me one super second. Because I want to show you a clear example of what I just said, if I find it. That question was so good, so it triggered. Oh, I got it. It's the same presentation that I was showing at CI Summit last week. I'll point. So it triggered this idea, and I want to show you. Perfect. Okay. So, Eric, let's pause.
Okay, and just to keep in mind, there's one more follow-up question with someone
Okay.
wants to know if a bullet points on an index card with 6 to 8 not complete sentences, would that be okay, is the question. So you can do it after. I'll pause this now, but that's the follow-up question.
Love it. Okay. Yes. So we have 8 minutes left, and I am going to show you something from Maria Cano. So if you are teaching these advanced courses, I really recommend that you read Maria Cano, La Flor del Trabajo. Maria Cano is one of the books from Revolucionaria Collections. I have the teacher's guide. This is the teacher's guide. Like I'm showing you the teacher's guide. You can also find the teacher's guide on Teacher's Discovery. Yes.
I have to say, I love that book so much. It made me cry a little. It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I don't know why is this blurry? That's weird. Anyways, mysteries of the internet. So as I said, I have this unit on gender stereotypes, and that's the big topic. And then I will go in depth, and then we start learning what is gender what are gender stereotypes and how do they affect us in our lives. Again, this is part of the teacher's guide. Like if you use the book, just get the teacher's guides. And so I show them these pictures. So we read Maria Cano first, like we read it. I am in page 89 of the teacher's guide, page 89. So we have already read the book. We have done activities with the book. We have done comprehension questions. We've done a lot of things. Once we finish the book, these are the extended activities. I have pictures that I show them. Um, like picture talk. I don't know if you're familiar with picture talk. It's one of the CI strategies that we use. So, what do you see? So, look at the questions. What do you think? What do you feel? What is the message? And then we start brainstorming as a class. And then I start writing on the board the things that they say. What do you see? What do you see? Who is the girl and who is the man? How do you know one is the girl and one is the man? So we start talking about the colors, the things that are there. So it's very powerful. And I'm doing it with Maria Cano because Maria Cano breaks a lot of gender stereotypes for her time. So she was a woman that she never got married. She didn't want to get married. She never had kids because she didn't want to have kids at a time in the early 1900s in Colombia that if you were a woman, you had to get married. You had to have kids. Like those were the expectations. She didn't like wearing dresses. She preferred wearing pants. That was like a huge thing at the time. She didn't like long hair. She liked short hair. She liked working when it was not expecting of women to work. So that's why we read the book first, and then we do all these activities with pictures, going in depth with the gender stereotypes. What do you think? What do you feel? What is the message? And these pictures open so many good conversations with the class. You cannot imagine. Like, and I tend to be no. I'm always very vulnerable and honest with my students. I always share about me and my life. I grew up in a household like this. The phone will ring next to my dad and my dad wouldn't pick it up. My mom will come and pick up the phone, even though he could just reach and said, hello, no. So I grew up in a household like this and we talk about it. And it's okay to talk about it. Like we talk about it, but what can we do better? Like when we know better, we do better and we keep building a better society. So I have a lot of pictures and I mean, we have these discussions, gender reverse roles, when we see these pictures, when this is the traditional picture that actually came out as part of a advertisement sometimes in the 1950s or so. But when you put it the opposite, it looks ridiculous. It should look ridiculous anyways, but somehow you see this one and it's funny, and you see this one. I mean, it should be funny too, but it's like we are trained to see these things. Um, I don't know. This one with the leg up for the picture is like, are you kidding me? Why do we have? Who said we women put our legs up when we are going to have a picture taken? So, anyways, we go in depth with these gender stereotypes. Um, the evaluation is based on the different topics from the book, and then that's it. So I have like 3 minutes. I want to stop here to in case someone wants to ask something or say something or.
Any questions from our wonderful audience? We have a question.
Yes, I
you
read it. I just read it.
oh,
Yes, we have. Thank you. Do we? Yes, of course, of course. I use IB rubrics to grade all of it. All the IB course is marked, assessed with the IB rubrics all the time. Yeah. The oral, the writing, all of them. Yes. What type of writing assessment? So as if you teach AP, you know we have to teach different writing formats, blogs, diary entries, emails, mails, articles, essays, instructions, interviews. Like we have to teach them all of that. So throughout the semester, throughout the course, I assess all the writing formats, and every time we're reading a book, they have a written assessment. It's in the teacher's guide. At the end, there is a written assessment with three different prompts, three different options for writing types, and then they have to choose the right option with the right prompt. So we are assessing the writing, basic, not weekly, but very often.
We have
So
one more minute just so we can make sure we're on time for the next presentation.
yes, I think I answered that question. Do you have an elevator speech in a situation when you teach upper levels with an on-site teacher not interested in using novels? No. You know what? If you're going to convince her, direct her to my YouTube channel because I have interviews with my students in Spanish in my YouTube channel. You just type Adriana Ramírez teaching Spanish on YouTube and then it will come in. And I have playlist, choose third year or fourth year. I don't know how, I mean, you will see like the advanced students ones and show them the interview with my students. They are in Spanish. It's authentic Spanish that they learned only after 4 years of Spanish. That's it, 4 years. And if her students after 4 years are at this level, which I don't think so, then good for her. Keep doing what she's doing. But the other thing is not about suffering. The students will give you feedback in those interviews. It's not about suffering. It's about enjoying the language. It's about sharing who they are in the target language. So that's the best thing that I can say. And it's time.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful and engaging presentation. I cannot recommend your books enough. I absolutely love them and I love sharing them with teachers. So thank you for sharing yourself with us. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Bye bye.